Hi, Julie. Just get on your computer and Ash goes live immediately. Actually, Ash probably should have gone live about 2 or 3 hours ago, but Ash wasn't awake 2 or 3 hours ago. Was up all friggin' night last night. Like, last night isn't even the right word for it. I was up till like 8 or 9 in the morning. So, I'd get some sleep. But what the hell? It's later in the night, and that's actually probably more fitting because we're going into like the post-Shadowbringer role quest stuff. I don't know exactly how to refer to it. Basically, I've done the 4 role quests that the game had to offer me, but now I have one last story left with the Warriors of Light, which I get the feeling is going to be probably even darker than the 4 before it. There's actually another storyline after this one that I may or may not get to tonight. I actually don't know how long this quest line takes, but I imagine it's about the same amount as the other role quests. So probably a couple hours, so I may not. But we shall see. Because the interesting part was we had all these, like, we had 4 role quests for Shadowbringers, which is 1 short of how many roles there are. But more than that, as we were following around the 4 Warriors of Light, there was a character who just kept appearing and who never had, like, any of her own story and barely interacted with any of the other characters in their story, so pretty sure this story is about her. Alright. Let's see what kind of story you got for me, Sylvie. Well, if it isn't the Great Hunter himself. As if you don't know. All 4 of the cardinal virtues laid low. All with your help. You're the talk of the stairs, Ash. When I returned to Lakeland, we knew in our hearts the change was on the horizon. Never did we dare to hope that you might help rid us of those terrible fiends. Surpassed my wildest expectations. Bashful kitty. Don't mind Glenard. When I first laid eyes on him, I had an inkling that he was the hero we've been waiting to come along. Huh. I'm also noticing that this lady is like same race, species, and very similar features to Sylvie. I wonder if she's supposed to be like the representation of blah 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 blah. Like the other 4 quest givers were kind of like the representation of the Warriors of Light. Or similar in vein to the Warriors of Light. Although not all of them, actually. I suppose the dwarf was sorta similar. It was a female Lalafell, but it was a tank, not a healer, so... easy to claim after the fact. You'd indulge me, though. I'd love to hear tell how it all played out. The hunting of the virtues, that is. My word. So much more to it than I realized. I thought you'd only had to track down the bloody things. Gods, though. The things you learned about the Warriors of Light. So many secrets and details lost over time. All the hard work and sacrifice, they somehow brought about the flood. Can't say I understand it at all, but it's a bloody tragedy it is. We should gather the others and toast their memories. Heroes of El, brave and true, to be remembered forevermore. Now, I'll thank you not to lend your bleeding heart Let your bleeding heart drive you to offer up a fortnight's stock of spirits. Attend to your other customers and let me speak with the hero of here and now. Whatever would I do without your good sense and wisdom? Very well, I'll leave you to entertain him. But don't think we won't be having that drink someday. That's right. Let's thank you for sharing with us such incredible tales. It's only right that I repay you in kind. Even the name is similar. With the ending, that is. With the story of the true villain who towers above the virtues. The devil more deserving of death than any that yet lingers in this world. Your curiosity's been piqued. Then meet with me atop the balcony overlooking the crystalline mean. I'll be waiting there until you do. Interesting. Like, I haven't interacted with her much, but I'm pretty sure she's been hanging out around here, like, the whole time. And it sounds like she's been working with Glennard long enough that they have this real companionable whatever with each other. So, I don't think she just, like, suddenly appeared here. I'm trying to figure out if she's, like, actually connected to Sylvie in some way, because how the hell else would she even know this story? No one else even knew anything about the Warriors of Light. Plus all the similarities. I wonder if Sylvie could have lived like 100 years. I don't know. Okay. As I knew you would. Never met a mystery you could leave well enough alone. Or a demon that you could let live, am I right? And this demon is undeniably deserving of death. Make no mistake. Cut them down would be just and proper. The act of a goodly person. And that's just what you are. I can see that. Also, I decided to bring Gaia with me on this one. It just felt fitting. Since I believe this last one has to do with the Shadow Keeper. No need to go impatient and be offended, my friend. Before you pass judgment on this villain, you need first understand their part in everything. Who they were to the fallen Warriors of Light, for instance. Why is that? Whatever. Because right about now you must be wondering how I know what I know. What a tavern wench of all people has got to do with any of this. Let me tell you then. I'm the one who brought together the Virtue Hunters. I'm the one who marked you as a potential ally to them and bade you join them in their quests. I alone knew what had to be done, what sort of sinner would be needed to see this tale of tragedy and betrayal brought to an end. But well, there are many moms ahead of us still. To Calucia and the Carter's Crook. We'll go on ahead and wait for you there. Oh, great, yeah, thanks. Hey, come meet me in the one location in the middle of nowhere, right in between all three of the Etherites. At least I am flying. Although that being said, I'm gonna get rid of that one. Maybe this one too for now. Let me find something. Not minion. Oh yeah, I have the freaking ram or sheep or whatever. I forgot I got that. Maybe a demon bird. Just take my chocobo. Benmer, that's pretty nice. Yeah, let me go with a demon bird for today. Could probably turn on the mount music. Oh, I don't care that much. It's fine. Oh, I love this fiery demon bird flying across and this nice gentle song playing. You're accustomed to life on the road, I see. As am I. Yeah, I think that might be... You recognize this place? I thought you might. Here's where it began, where Ardbert first met Lamet. Yeah, I think she is Sylvie. Somehow still alive. Still young and lacking in experience. Possessed of so much potential. Heroes in the making. Even then, the keen-eyed could see. They would only fulfill that promise much later, though, after joining with their other dear companions, Brandon and Renderay. And one other. An elven woman. Not half bad with a sword. But perhaps you're already asking the question, who? There were 5 warriors of light in all, but she would make 6. Yeah, she was never, like, listed among the warriors of light, but she was always there. Like, even among the warriors of light that are kind of meant to represent the player character that you see back in like, the 1.0 trailers and stuff like that. Right? I believe Sylvie was there. I mean, her name might not have been Sylvie in the source, but I believe she was still there in that trailer. Indeed, after adding in Naubert, there does seem to be one too many. But believe me when I say there was indeed a 6th adventurer lost to history. Or Silva. Sorry, Silva. Her name was Silva. I think it's Sylvie, but whatever. But I doubt I need to convince you of this truth. When you walked in the Virtue's memories, you saw her time and time again, did you not? Yep. Always, like, silent and not really interacting with anyone, but always there. Then you saw the true villain. The traitor responsible for all their woes. Let's continue the story elsewhere. To our meringue in the fields of Amber. Like, if it's not actually her still alive after all this time, then my question is, how the hell does this woman even find out about this story? But yeah, I mean, the race, the physical appearance, the name all being so similar, I'm pretty sure it's actually her. Guess we'll see. The right here at the very beginning of this questline, she's like already aggressively labeling Silva as the traitor, the villain, the blah 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 blah. So I'm guessing the story is a lot more complicated than that. Also, it's interesting to be back at Dark Knight. I don't think Dark Knight had any real big changes recently, so I should be able to just play him pretty much the way I always have, I think. You saw the true villain's face in their memories, and I told you her name in Calusia. But what were her crimes, you ask? Hearken to my tale, and you will learn. Silva joined the others before they first met Naubert. After their party of 5 came to this place, they took on a commission to slay a powerful beast that had taken up residence in the mines. This beast was believed to be the instigator of ever more terrible tremors, and so time was of the essence. But During their hurried search, they crossed paths with their future companion. Then a competitor, aiming to usurp their prize. After another tremor triggered by the beast trapped them all underground, they had no choice but to work together to lay it low. But to their dismay, even after its death, the earth continued to shudder violently. As the adventurers looked to each other in confusion, Nalbert strode towards the beast's body and grabbed hold of a curious stone brimming with untold ether, that he had sought out that he might harness its potential to rescue a loved one lost to the rift. Yep, I know. We already did that. So powerful was the stone that it warped the flow of the life stream. Its very existence was a threat. So when faced with a choice between one life and countless others, Albert wept and shattered the stone. He had held his comrade's salvation in his hands and cast it aside for the greater good. For his sacrifice, he was judged a hero. In that instant, a warrior of light was born. Yes, we already know all this. In life now, Albert was a pragmatic figure, whose wisdom and sagacity, I always forget how to pronounce that word, sagacity, were admired by all. Little wonder that in death he would retain his virtue. It is now but mourn the friend he forever lost. The betrayer Silva looked on in silent contentment. But they had taken the first step on that path towards becoming heroes brave and true. His sacrifice had sparked the transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come. The ritual, you may wonder. Fear not, all will become clear in time. Come with me to Raktika, to the Sitia swamps. Let's retrace the steps as they were taken to understand the depth of her treachery. Interesting idea that she was like planning to use them the entire time she was traveling with them. Maybe? I still think there's more to this story than she's leading me to believe. Hey Runar, good to see you again. So remembering the rest regularly, but yes, it is so. And this house starting, yeah. Up and over. Benefits. Oh my god, Lahi. Again, I forgot that it would be here. Every time I come to Raktika, not even thinking about it, and then head out and it immediately hits me, it's like, oh yeah, there it is. This place too is familiar to you, Dad. Oh man. Oh, I have a tickle in the nose like I need to sneeze, but it doesn't come out. From days recent and long since past. After the events in Amarang, Albert and his comrades grew in fame, spurring others to entreat their aid. The adventurers sought out greater and greater challenges, and in pursuit of another, they came to Raktika. Yeah, this one's Render Ray's story. While here, the hunter Render Ray learned that the notorious Mach, Alam Keats, was near, and so under cover of darkness, she slipped away from the others to slay the beast by herself. Like now, but before, of course, you already know what her motive was. Alam Keats had robbed her of her fellow hunters, Only vengeance would redress the balance. Moreover, she would not dare risk the lives of her new comrades. So terrified was she of the mere possibility that she might have to relive that terrible day. So she faced Balam Keats alone, and would have surely died for it, had Ardbert and the others not arrived in time to help. Like now, but before, of course. You already know what happened next. For her love, her conviction, and her resolve was she chosen by Heidelin. From that day forward, Renda Ray swore never again to betray her comrades' trust, to share with them the triumphs and the tragedies, to relinquish the freedom she had once held in the highest. Bravest, most courageous hunter that ever was. That moment would define what she became in life, and in death. Her sacrifice would hasten the transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come. The betrayer Silva looked on, yet more satisfied. They were oblivious to her machinations, unaware that they were dancing to her tune. The journeys continued, and so must ours, to Ilmeg and Liagia. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Oh. Well, why not? I could always use some extra sacks of nuts. How many do I need? 2. Yeah, Dark Knight seems like he plays pretty much the same. Okay. Works for me. Oh. Okay, we'll go there. Every one of these is like, okay, nowhere near any of the Aetherites. But it's not too bad. With flight unlocked in all these locations, it usually takes me like 10 or 15 seconds to get from Aetherite to where she is. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is going on here. Like, I believe she's probably Silva. I believe this story has to do with the Shadowkeeper, but that being said, I don't think, like, Silva was the Shadowkeeper. If I remember correctly, it wasn't Gaia and, whatever that douchebag's name was. I'd never even bothered to remember it because he's such an idiot. But wasn't Gaia and her friend, boyfriend, partner, whatever, weren't they the Shadowkeeper? Like, together? Maybe Silva was just, like, working with the Ascians to, like, summon the Shadowkeeper or set the stage, or... I mean, I guess that could have been the point. The whole point was to bend this world toward light, so building up of the Shadowkeeper I don't think was ever designed to, like... The Shadowkeeper must be victorious. I think it was always kind of designed to make the Warriors of Light, like, shine so much that they would trigger the Flood. As beautiful now as it was then. You saw it too, would you not agree? With the death of Balam Keats, the legend of Ardbert and his comrades had grown larger than ever. Thus emboldened they came to the kingdom of Vobat. Vobat had long been troubled by what some had dubbed a magical plague, innocents found transformed into misshapen fiends that the kingdom's knights had no choice but to put down ere the contagion spread. Brandon had been one such knight. In his youth he had served the Princess Saldia faithfully, only to be cast out for a single mistake. Thus did he take to the road where he met Ardbert and the others. Having grown stronger and wiser and more respected, Brandon felt it was time to return and redeem himself. With the aid of his comrades, he did just that. Tadric, the court mage, was unmasked as the mastermind of Obert's misery, and by disgraced knight's blade, he was brought to justice. With his dying breath, Tadric cursed the Princess Soldia, sentencing her to a fate worse than death. At her behest did he raise up his blade, for the sake of the kingdom strike down his liege lady. That single stroke he forever changed, though nearly not in the way that was necessary. He stood at the precipice, and almost forsook his compassion for unflinching judgment, but mercifully turned aside at the last. Thus did he find and embrace true justice, that which weighs law and heart together and strives for the greater good. It is a long, difficult road from which many stray, settling for simple moralities. But I would expect no less of the man who became Dikaiosine. His sacrifice would strengthen the transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come. As her companions grew ever more powerful, so too did the betrayer Silva. Bit by bit they brought her closer to her goal. But it was not yet finished. To Calusia they returned, and so must we. Tomra and the next chapter of our tale await. So she's like putting in order the stories, basically. Which apparently I did all out of order, but who cares? Tanks. Running around. There are a bunch of quests around here that I never did. I mean, there are a bunch of quests everywhere that I haven't done yet. What is with all these people walking around? Slowly but surely the adventurers were fulfilling their potential. Word of their deeds in Velbert spread like wildfire, and their legend grew ever larger. But for all the success, the fledgling heroes would be forced to endure more hardship and welcome more sacrifice. They pressed deeper into the depths of Raktika, towards ancient Ronka. It was there that the dwarf Flamet came up to a crossroads, for in claiming the magic she desperately desired, she had been forced to renounce something equally precious. Dwarves are a reclusive lot, wont to withdraw from the outside world that their many traditions might be preserved in isolation. When the stone blight began to spread, they chose to lock away the afflicted and refused to seek outside help. But Lamet would not abide this. She vowed to save her alien kin, her sister among them, even if it meant violating dwarven law. With her newfound power, she returned and cured the sick, and for this she was banished by the Council of Elders. This came as no surprise, for she had made her peace with it long before. And she stood in that ancient ruin and called upon forgotten guardians to grant her forbidden knowledge. She knew then what the price would be. She'd weighed her traditions and identity against the lives of those she loved, and made her choice, though it pained her terribly and in ways only a dwarf could understand. And Heidelin, it would seem. Through hardship and sacrifice was a new warrior of light forged. A healer that knew more than any the value of a life, and would do anything to see it preserved, even in death. Sacrifice would nearly complete the transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come. Very soon then, very soon. For Ardbert and his comrades had stumbled upon evidence of their larger design. Threads linking together the disparate troubles of the realm. A name spoken only in whispers. The Shadowkeeper. A singular force sowing chaos and discord throughout Norvrent, to an unknown end. The Warriors of Light truly wished to save their world, and they would need to confront this villain amongst villains. And at the end of their exhaustive search, at the end of their struggle, who do you think they found waiting to welcome them with open arms? The answer to that awaits us in Lakeland, our final destination. The villain yet walks among us, Ash, unknown and unpunished. Go on ahead and wait for me at Laxenloft. There are preparations to which I must first attend. So maybe she actually was the Shadowkeeper? I don't get that. I swear I remember them saying that when, like, Gaia and that other Ascian fused together, they were the Shadowkeeper. Hey, Cal. Interesting to see you. Who's here? I wonder if Cal was following someone or just happened to be around here. No, with this many people gathered, someone's here. Last time I saw Cal following people around, it was grinding gear. I wonder if they're coming here today for their stream. Maybe so, with this many people here. Possibly. Anyway, Lakeland. We went back to Lakeland, huh? Oh, is this the Shadowkeeper's, like, fort or whatever? You don't really look around Lakeland too much when you're just following the story, do you? You know? You go to a couple locations and then you mostly leave Lakeland for other areas. Yeah, this must have been the Shadowkeeper's fort. Weathering. We did come here, Laxenloft, okay. We did come here, though, I believe. I think the section where we were saving Reen from the Garleans might have been here. Or was that down there? That might have been at some ruins down there. Like that area, I think, over there. No. No, because it was bigger. Yeah, it might have been Laxenloft then. Alright, here we go. Maybe this questline isn't super long. It really was just like, let's tell some stories and then come and visit me. I wonder if this whole thing really only takes like 45 minutes, an hour to get through. If so, I might be able to start the next questline after this, which has to deal with the Void. Which I did want to do before getting back to the MSQ at the very least. Since we're getting into Void stuff. Yeah. Interesting. Very Dark Knight look. Though I can't tell if that sword's long enough for a Dark Knight. I thought it was a paladin because she was holding it one-handed, but it looks pretty long. No, it's one-handed. And they're all wearing their outfits now. Damn you, Silva. We were comrades in arms. Friends. That we were and that we are. Everything I said, everything I felt. It was all true. You mean the world to me. You're the bloody Shadow Keeper! What in the hells was this for? For you. For every one of you. Forge you into heroes worthy of her blessing. That she might choose you as her champions. Ruthless mage consumed by the pursuit of power to save his friend no matter the cost. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. A mournful hunter scarred by tragedy, resolved never again to trust in others. By her sacrifice, a warrior born. Disgraced knight who yearned to steal his heart in justice's name. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. A troubled healer torn between tradition and love. By her sacrifice, a warrior born. And their leader, an adventurer with a heart overflowing with love for his dearest comrades, who must now bring his axe to bear against his own. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. I am the villain you seek, the keeper of shadows, from a world shrouded in dark. By our struggle will this world be shattered and its souls saved. From a world shrouded in dark? Did Silva come from the void? Huh. I mean, she's got a lot of darkness running through her veins, that's for sure, so she probably did. I wonder if she came from the void to try and prevent... No? No, I don't think so. Because everything she did built them up as warriors of light, which only hastened the flood. So she wasn't here to help this world, I don't think. Maybe somehow, like, causing the flood of light might have helped the void in some way? Like her world? Saw it all, did you? I thought you might. Mother's gift has a knack for showing us exactly what we need to see. If not what we want to, or when. They knew me as Silva, but my real name... It doesn't matter. Like you, I'm not of this world. I crossed the rift and came to the first. Yep, she's from the void. My home, the 13th, fell to dark in a calamity that mirrored the one which nearly claimed this world. I was one of several heroes who failed to save it. The boy who knew Kalhai. I've glimpsed him in your memories. He was a friend. Like him, I heeded the words of the Ascians, and that I might redress the balance, I chose to come here and hasten a rejoining of worlds. A shard subsumed by dark demands a mirror of blinding light. Primordial forces will strive to achieve equilibrium. But there was a solution, a single solution, I believed. Were a flood of light to consume this shard in its entirety, it would be of no use. The Ascians made it clear it must be brought to the brink, but no further. The task was difficult, but the plan simple. Souls predisposed to light, fledgling heroes in the making. I would bring together Ardbert and his comrades, and groom them for a higher purpose. Wow, I really screwed up your plans, didn't I? I would play the part of comrade and guide their course, all the while laboring in secret to pit stronger and stronger enemies against them, till finally, once they were warriors of light, brave and true, I would reveal myself as a warrior of darkness, and extinguish their radiance forever. Thus would this world be primed for rejoining, and the source for a calamity. The Asians, who called themselves Metron and Logriff, there they are. That's Gaia and the other dude, Metron. Were confident it would succeed. And indeed, Oddbert and the others rose to the occasion, as I knew they would. It was not to be. I had misjudged Oddbert. His comrades before him had made their sacrifices in turn, and as their mirror I had grown stronger for it. Had he but embraced his role and struck me down, victory would have been mine. But Oddbert, dear Oddbert, would not forsake his heart. In the end he chose mercy, he chose love, and I was undone. Warrior of Darkness from the Void. The rest you know. He sought out Metron and Logriff and granted them what he refused me. They accomplished everything they set out to achieve, and then the flood came and washed it away. In the wake of my betrayal, I would look on from the shadows and reflect on my many sins as all fell to ruin. Denied death, then and now, and perhaps ever after as a fragment of my essence endures. But then one day years ago, my fallen comrades rose again as the cardinal virtues. It coincided with the arrival of the first scions, I later realized, a defense against the forces being marshaled to undo my failure. I could but assume the Asians planted the idea in Vothri's head. They were his creations after all. And with their graves in Ulmoran territory, it was doubtless a simple matter to have their bodies exhumed and prepared. Who am I to speak, you may think when I say this, but when I saw these abominations he had wrought in their image, I was filled with such despair, such anger. I cannot unwrite the past. My soul is stained with blackest sin. I will not pretend that it can ever be otherwise. But this act, this I could not ignore. If the Asians were going to such lengths, then surely others would cross the rift in due time. So I hatched a plan. I would assume the guise of Ciela, and as I'd take up residence in the Crystarium, where I would take measure to bring together the most ambitious of adventurers, individuals driven by more than mere coin, virtue hunters. That way, when the enemy the Asians feared more than any came to the first, the stage would be set. They would join in the hunter's quest, and together unmake Vothri's simulacra and lay their souls to rest once more. And so you did. Virtues are no more, but the one ultimately responsible for their creation, the devil who set them on their doomed path, lingers still. You know all there is to know of the heroes who saved this world. The truth I kept hidden in the shadows is yours, and there are no more secrets to share. So I ask you now to grant me that which Oddbert could not. Death. No. That's okay, I'm good. You look at me that way, you remind me of Oddbert. Never did let me take the easy way out. I'm guessing suicide is out of the question too. How can you stand there and say I deserve to live? Knowing everything I did, the lives I destroyed, the chaos I wrought. The Warden's pale in comparison. Surely there's no greater villain than the Shadowkeeper. Death is no comfort to the living. It'd be for my own benefit, and I cannot deny. I'm to indulge in one final act of selfishness. You'll make me do it myself, won't you? Make me confront the cowardice of it. The ugly truth that I'd rather run away than try to seek atonement. Perhaps I may yet find purpose in preserving my comrade's legacy, helping others to understand the sacrifices that made them true heroes. For now I shall return to the Crystarium, continue to assist Glenard, spreading the forgotten tales of the Warriors of Light. We would have been good friends, you and Ardbert, in another life. I mean, we are. Like, Ardbert and I are traveling companions in a way that can, like, never be broken at this point. Literally one being. Maybe you and I as well. We are literally both reincarnations of Azum, and now we're fused together. So, Ardbert's with me. We're traveling together all the time. You know, that makes me wonder. I wonder if we'll ever find out our Azum's name. Like, what it was way back when during the time of the Ancients. Because I only ever, like, call him Azum. But, like, all the Ancients had another name. Azum was just the title. Or have we already? Not that I can think of. I don't think the story ever told us his name. Was that really all there was to that? It was a pretty quick quest. Well, quick-ish. Tell you, I am not at all accustomed to wearing armor any longer. Simply moving about in it is enough to tax my strength. And fighting, ugh. Any one of Captain Lena's recruits could probably put me flat on my back. I love she goes and dresses up as the Shadow Keeper and, like, conjures an aura of darkness to try and get me to kill her, but she's like, I wouldn't have stood a chance against you. Like, I was just putting on a front hoping you did it for me. Fortunately, I needn't rely on my sword to spread the truth of my fallen comrades' deeds. Only words in the passage of time will see their legacy redeemed in the eyes of the people. Thank you for accompanying me on my journey of remembrance. May your deeds ever be remembered and celebrated, as all heroes deserve. Shadow walk with me. Tales to be told. I finally got it. And that is it. Living memory. That's it for the first, like, Warrior of Light role quest stuff. That's all of their tales. But I believe she now has... Yes. If I'm correct, this starts a new quest line which deals more with the Void. Which is what I definitely want to have done before I continue on with the MSQ, where we're basically just traveling to the Void and dealing with threats from the Void. Which, by the way, that stinger at the end of 6.1 was amazing. I thought I recognized the characters. I didn't want to say it outright and be made a fool if I was wrong, because parts of it looked a little different to me. It's been so long since I played Final Fantasy IV, I forgot that the 4 elementals were even a thing. Right? Like, I recognized... Spoilers, if anyone is in here and hasn't played up through 6.1 yet. In, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Like, I recognized him as Golbez, like, the second I saw him in his armor and everything like that. But I was like, is that actually Golbez? Who the hell are these elementals? Like, it's been so long since I played 4, I forgot the elementals existed. Or, like, any of that stuff. Also, it raises a bunch of other questions, because Golbez was not exactly, like, really the villain in 4. So I'm wondering if, like, Zemus exists somewhere in 14, and we're gonna get around to that storyline eventually. And also, I have, somewhat been a little spoiled, slightly, for some of the MSQ going forward, in that there's a certain Reaper who helps us, apparently, in our fight against the Elementals. And given what I know about Kor and Zemus and his final form, that Reaper's name is making me wonder and theory craft some things. So there's that. I'm wondering, like, what part that Reaper's gonna play going forward. But anyway, forgetting all of that, let's get back to this Void storyline. I wonder if I can finish the Void storyline today. I mean, what I think it's supposed to do with the Void, I would expect to take a long time, but it really only may be a couple of quests. How long have I been live? An hour? 2 more hours, maybe 3. Yeah. I have enough time for this. Depending on how long these quests are, I seriously doubt. I think it's only like 2 or 3 or 4 quests long, maybe, this whole storyline. And if I go a little long today, then so be it. If it isn't Ash, loitering about the stairs just like any old evening. Yeah, I was worried that you'd gone back to your world for good, and I was too late. It's just that I've been thinking about the crystals belonging to the Warriors of Light. Maybe they ended up with you after you lot defeated the Virtues. I assume you have Oddbirds as well. I mean, yes-ish, I think. I don't remember where we got our birds. Oh no, yeah, we left our birds with Seto. That's true, we did. We left our birds with Seto. I don't remember where we got our birds. Did we get it from Ardbird? Or did we get it from Elidibus? We might have gotten it from Elidibus after 5.3? Yeah, I think 5.3. Elidibus might have had it on his person when he was Ardbert. But I don't remember exactly where we got it. Indeed, that does seem appropriate. His bond with Seto is deep and enduring. As for the others, I had hoped you might be persuaded to leave them in my care. It was only right that they, like Ardbert, should accompany you on your journey to set this world back on its proper course. Yet you now have a home you must return to, while the first is theirs. After all they did to keep it safe, they deserve to be here to see what its future holds. Oh, don't make that face. I know it's a big decision, but it needn't fall entirely to you. There are others here who care for the Warriors of Light as much as you do, aren't there? Yeah. I mean, instead of leaving all their crystals of light with you, not that I'm, like, worried you're gonna do Shadowkeeper things or anything like that, but rather, it doesn't seem like it would matter to leave the crystals of light all with you. Doesn't seem quite right. I think giving the crystals of light to each of the hunters that I worked with seems more right. Hey, Jock. Oh. Now that's some damn fine ale. How many should I order for you? I know you ain't much of a drinker, so 6? 7? Huh? You want help deciding the fate of Lamet's crystal? And the others too? Does this place have any bigger tankards? Well, if you insist. Lurik owes me drinks, plural, so I'll make sure he joins us. Maybe find Granson while I'm at it. You go on and wait with Sarah and Tainer. Order around while I'm out, will you hear? Yeah, Lurik and Granson are a little busy to be hanging out right here in the Crystarium. Hey guys. It's still so weird. The idea that, like, Nilebert and Tainer were kids together, and, like, 100 years later, here's Tainer as a kid. Nilebert long gone. Good to see you, Ash. What did you say that has Giat so worked up? Crystals, eh? That does sound like a conversation worth getting everyone together for. Did Lubric really promise to pay for Giot's drinks? That's a disaster in the making. Not just hers. Perhaps for the lot of us. Might be that the lad yet has a few things to learn about coin and the scarcity thereof. Still, I'm not turning down his generosity. Go and tell the barkeep we'll be needing food and ale for the table. Fine, but please try to exercise some restraint. I'll carry you back to the room again. Oh, great. Here we are. How much of a head start did you get? Did I ask him to bring out the cask? I reckon we should hear our shop first. Am I telling them that she's the Shadow Keeper? Yep, I told them she was the Shadow Keeper. So you're telling me the barmaid was one of Halbert's companions, not to mention the Shadow Keeper, and from a different world. That's laying it on a bit thick. Like, Ciela must be standing over there like, I feel dozens of eyes just staring at me. That idiot said it. Certainly raises questions. Right. Such as how she retains her youthful visage. Not that. Like, no one gives a shit about that. I had my suspicions about her. The other night I was at the counter quaffing my ale. Having a grand time, and next I realize I'm outside without a guild in my name. And it ain't the first time. It's like, she didn't steal from you, Giot. You're just a drunkard. You're just a drunk little dwarf. Could only be the power of the Shadow Keeper. And not that you drink enough to fell a small army. Vash says it's true, I'm inclined to believe it. Which leaves us with the matter of entrusting the crystals to her. She's right that this was Brandon's home, the others too. And it's home to their most important memories. Not all of them good, maybe, but everyone they loved is laid to rest here. I agree. Albert belongs here too. Albert's crystals with Seto in this world. Lamet would want to be near. Brenda Ray as well, I think. She'd want to be with her friends in the place she loved. So leave them? But I don't feel the need to leave them with Ciela. I think I should leave them with you guys. You're kind of like the Warriors of Light's representation in the modern day. Seems we all agree. A toast then to the Warriors of Light! Oh god, everyone get wasted! Drink up. I'm paying, and as a bounty hunters, I expect you all to take proper advantage of that. I hate to disappoint, but I'm not much for alcohol. This juice looks nice, though. That's booze, isn't it? That's not... I love that big badass Granson Dark Knight man is the lightest lightweight you could ever possibly imagine. It's perfect for his character, man. Takes one sip of some light alcohol and just passes out. Dead, eyes open. How did you manage this? Twice the mess in half the time as normal patrons, I swear. Overheard your conversation, by the way. You agree with your friends? I mean, yeah, they should stay here. Okay, fine. I'll give them to her. I think they should stay with the bounty hunters, personally, but leaving them here with her, I guess, is fine if that's what the game wants to do. The legacies are safe with me. You have my word. It's not as if I'm afraid. Like I said, she's gonna shadow keeper it up again or anything. That's long since passed. It'll be fine leaving with her. I just think story-wise it would be even more apropos to leave them with the bounty hunters. Thank you. Hello there. I feel them. Their memories. I mean, our bird ain't here. Also, our bird's crystal is super drained. Although, technically, these 4 crystals were supposedly drained as well. How did they get recharged? Like, they were all just, like, gray last I saw them, I believe. How'd they get their color back? And ether back? I wonder if it was just supposed to be, like, over time? I don't remember doing anything to recharge them. Why, damn it? You're just like Ardbert. I betrayed you. I manipulated you. Still. You thought of me as a comrade. Friend, to the very end. It's like Tanner's gonna have to carry his ass back to the freaking pendants again. Finally managed to clean up after you lot. For the most part. Perhaps next time we should set down and tarpaulin. Nevertheless, I'm grateful to you for entrusting these to me. As long as I live, I'll never stop sharing the true tale of the Warriors of Light. Of my friends. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been added. Really? Huh. Should be duty, right? Yeah. MSQ, Shadowbringers, no. Chronicles of a New Era? No, that's... What am I missing? Oh, that's probably Sorrows of Warlit. Yeah. Because Warring Triad, 4 Lords, this is probably Warlit. Ivolus, this would be Myths of the Realm, I believe. Omega, Eden. Wait, what am I missing here? Because I'm inclined to think that's Pandemonium, but shouldn't that be after Eden, then? Because Eden was a Shadowbringers thing. Huh. Chronicles of Light Tales. From the Shadows. William the First, Flamen Alpha, found himself reminiscing. Okay, that's the quest with Flamen. Not sure what this is. The Scholasticate, the Rollmaster quest. The Bounty Hunters, Monasteries, Winter proposes, celebrating their accomplishments. Other libations will have to wait for ceremony. Record your labors with a singular tale of the true one. Yeah. So that's what I just unlocked, I guess. I would have thought that would have unlocked after the last one, not after safekeeping. But whatever. Tank quests. Still have to do Endwalker stuff eventually. Need to do Warrior for Stormblood. I haven't done any of Gunbreaker stuff. I think it's just Stormblood and then like the 80 or 90 quest. I'm really not sure what this is supposed to be. Because this should be the tank roll from Endwalker. So this is maybe the 80 quest? Do the roles not have an ID quest? Because even though they started adding the role quests in Shadowbringers, there was a single quest at the end at level 80 for each class. Did they not even bother to make those quests for Endwalker? So these are probably the Shadowbringers ones. I mean, in so much as there are, it's not like a quest line, it's a single quest. TPS crafters, way behind. Freaking all of these. I need... Got blacksmith up to manipulation. I'm gonna need to do weaver up to manipulation. And... I don't remember what the other one is. I'm basically thinking of the ones that I need in order to craft, like, new sets of gear. It's blacksmith, it's weaver, and maybe armor? Or is it goldsmith? Goldsmith might be needed for the accessories. I don't remember which it was. There was 3 of them that I need to get up to manipulation. And I'm so behind on my gatherers as well. Like, these things just aren't really super important story-wise, so I've been leaving them way behind. No chapters currently in progress. Oh, when you're doing New Game Plus, you can suspend them and then sort of, like, go back to the story whenever you want? That's interesting. I don't think I'll do it this way. Eventually, I do want to play through some of the story stuff again. Probably on an alt. And you know what? I'll probably end up making it a Lalafell just to make it as hilarious as possible. Every cutscene. Okay, so I believe this is all part of the same quest line. Should be. Let's see. Like, this one doesn't even have a picture or anything, so... But, like, what else would Ciela have for me if not this quest line? Seeing a lot of you together like that reminds me of the old days. Arbert and the rest drinking and bickering and laughing. Drove each other half mad at times, but there was never any question of who'd be there when times got tough. Can't help but wonder, can I, if I'd had companions like that back home, could it have been saved? I don't remember, but I mean, Warriors of Darkness being the last ones to try and save the Void does actually make sense. Because for those who don't know, I believe the storyline of the Void went, in so much as I know the basic outline of it. It's... what was it? Like... Warriors defeated the big bad villains or whatever and like trapped them in crystal or something, and then like each of the warriors held on to the crystals to like safeguard them, only for the crystals to then like take them over, like take over their minds or whatever. There's basically Diablo 2. And then like they became the big threat that like plunged the world into darkness. I would imagine those would be Warriors of Light originally, but the power of darkness was real strong on the Void. It had to have been. So would the Warriors of Light there even have had the power to face the darkness? Those were probably Warriors of Light, and then they became the big bads, so Warriors of Darkness, I guess, were trying to stop them, and everything just flooded out of control, pretty much. I don't know. I don't know nearly enough to be talking about this like I understand it all. I'm not the only one who tried. Though each of us stood alone, there was no cowhide. An unpronounceable name sounds familiar. He was working with Elidibus at the time. Yes, he too was one would-be savior of the 13th. Was spared his fated demise by Ascian devices. We spoke once, after the destruction of our world. If the others could be saved, we thought, we yet had parts to play. What's he up to now that Elidibus is gone, though? No idea. he found himself a new role, as I have, as he feels adrift as we were back then. If you encounter him in the source, I ask that you help him find a way forward, just as you have helped all of us here. Now, back to Unukalhai to deal with the, void. Interesting. I thought it might have more to do with Stella, but Unukalhai makes sense, since he was one of the, would-be warriors of darkness of the void, blah blah blah, that failed. Just park your giant carriage right in front of everything. Maybe I'll get more information about the void that I'm woefully knowledgeable about. Unknowledgeable. Jesus, Ash. I don't think you got enough sleep last night. Hey. Well met, Ashram. What brings you here today? Ryanje did apprise me of your travels in the first, and of what became of Elidibus at long last. But I was not aware that you were working with Silva. I consider her a comrade of sorts, though our time together was short. Looking upon the twisted remains of the world you tried to save creates a bond that few can understand. At that time, we spoke of what we could hope to achieve with our newfound immortality, and of our regrets. Though I then believed what had happened to be the natural result of my age and inexperience, I think this was merely the least painful explanation I could offer myself. Silva is right. We ought to have sought each other out before it was too late. Not make the same mistake again. With the Warring Triad gone, I am indeed in need of new purpose, but to seek it alone is folly. I should like to speak with Silva, assuming such a thing is possible. As I mentioned, she understands how I feel more than any other. Of course, all I require is your soul. Am I really going to use one of those crystals? You speak of the spirit vessel, correct? The means by which the Scions return to the source. If I understand the principles, it worked correctly, and it was a near miracle that you succeeded in bringing them back without killing them. If Elidibus is to be believed, however, my current state makes me something of an exception in the matters of life and death. In which case, there's not to be lost for making the attempt. Please say you'll help. Ooh. Am I gonna deliver Unukalhai to the first, permanently? I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. You need an expert in spirit vessels. Uh-huh. I mean, he's the one I'd think of. Here. No, Ryanje. I mean, sure, he's the most knowledgeable, but Ra is the one who made the spirit vessels. Pray forgive the delay. Thou didst seek my counsel. Aye. The gifts granted young Unukalhai by Hydaelyn and the Ascians may prove a boon in easing the transition. However, I know not to what extent, nor what might befall thy spirit should it be lost betwixt worlds. Nevertheless, I know that this is my path forward. Please, Ryanje. Very well. If thou believest that thou shalt find new purpose in the first, I will do all in my power to see thee safely there. We shall be but a few moments. Mayhap a worthy tome might keep thee occupied whilst I perform the necessary magics. What am I gonna be delivering Unukalhai to, though? Like, I'm taking his soul, but there's no body waiting for him in the first. And the fact that my companions were just their souls in the first was a big problem. Although, no, yeah, it was a big problem. It was going to get their bodies killed eventually once the connection was severed, and I believe Raha said that once that connection was severed, their souls in the first would be lost as well. So what's Unukalhai gonna do? Even if he was ready to, like, abandon his body here to go to the first, if you don't maintain the body somehow, which is a very temporary process, then you'll eventually just disappear. "'Tis done. Pray God his vessel well." Unukalhai is as I and the other scions were on the first, a soul with form, yet no true body. Thus 'twas a simple matter to transfer him to the vessel using the selfsame process as before. Oh. He's already a soul without a body. So when Urianger put him in the spirit vessel, he basically just transferred everything that he was. There's no body left behind for us to maintain. Interesting. To withdraw his essence once across the rift ought to prove similarly straightforward. However, I fear that such an existence cannot sustain itself indefinitely. Look to the Asian's example. The persistent use of flesh and blood vessels surely hath cause. Be it danger akin to that which would have befallen us had we not returned to the source, I know not. But the time may come when the boy requireth a fully corporeal form. Should this come to pass, I trust that thou shalt come to his aid. I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult. For the moment, however, thou needst only convey the spirit vessel to Beck Luke. Farewell, both of thee. I mean, everyone's always talking like it's some very difficult thing to do. To find a new body. But like the Asians, we're just stealing people's bodies without their, like, permission. Or just stealing people's bodies. It's like, there's a lot of people in the world. There's a lot of people that die every single day. There's a lot of people who don't want to live anymore. I really don't think the idea of finding a new body, and even like with someone's permission, if it needs to be a living body, would be all that difficult, really. You may not get to pick and choose exactly the one you want, but is he here? Hey. Why is there a lookout point in here? I mean, it's the Cabinet of Curiosity. Why is it on a table in a back room somewhere? Gosh. Nope, maybe he's all the way up top. Yep, there he is. Hello, back Luke. Yeah, are you? I'm flattered that you've grown so fond of Norvine. Or I would be. But you have that expression you lot always wear when you're about to ask me for something. You did what? After all the perils your friends faced and the labors we undertook to return them to your world, you brought another soul across the rift. Have you no common sense? Nope. None whatsoever. Clearly. Nevertheless, for my own peace of mind, I'll assume you have a compelling reason for this. Removing spirits from a vessel will be easy enough, I suppose. However, it requires a few moments without you breathing down my neck. Also, your friend is unlikely to materialize with clothes on, so I doubt they'll want an audience. You should wait here. Perhaps take the opportunity for some self-reflection. Oh, very well. At least I tried. We'll find you at the Wandering Stairs directly then. No self-reflection, only stupidity. No self-reflection allowed. I've only got 2 brain cells, and it takes everything I got just to rub the 2 of them together occasionally. You wanted me to speak with someone? Very well. You've done the same at my request often enough. Ta-da! I dragged his soul across the rift. Oh. Oh, man. How long are we meant to wait for this friend of yours? I do have work to do, you know. Ah, here you are. Pardon the delay. Took some time to acquire robes of an appropriate size. Is this them? No. Oh, whole new look for Unukalhai, huh? Interesting. Silva. Unukalhai? Indeed, it's I. Trust me, I can hardly believe that I'm here myself. Should think so. When I sent Ash to ask after you, it never occurred to me that you might be able to cross the rift without Ascian aid. Lost your taste for subterfuge, I see. My choices and my reasons are my own now. If I am to have faith in them, in myself, I cannot hide who I am. Speaking of which, Unukalhai was kind enough to fill me in, unlike some, and I was interested to hear of an erstwhile hero of the 13th serving libations at the Wandering Stairs. That this hero should be you surpasses the scope of even my considerable imaginings. Was that you at Gruner's Licht? So long ago? Not so long to me, or you, mayhap. Though I had thought I might at last put those days behind me. But perhaps this is for the best. They're not all bad memories. They never are. I should very much like to hear your story. Should you be willing to share it? A world like this one had its share of would-be heroes. Myself and Unukalhai among them. Unlike your warriors of light, however, each was unaware of or unconcerned with our fellows. To fight alone is to fall alone. The insidious ether of the ore site used to seal primals corrupted one's noble souls and turned them one by one to the darkness. Even those who resisted this fate could not escape its consequences. No surprise, perhaps, as we continued to struggle in solitude. We were spared by Ascian machinations, but only as our world met its death. What if that death could be undone? I was told that much of the first was consumed by light, as our home was by darkness. Yet balance and life are being restored to even that scoured land they call the empty. Yep, that one's us. Such a thing is possible. Then why not the reverse? Could we not bring light back to the 13th? Restore the void. Now that sounds like a very interesting questline. Even the Asians considered the 13th lost. Thus was it excluded from the rejoining. But what say you? You have a way of making miracles happen. The World of Darkness was not in a state I'd consider salvageable. Nah, screw that. Anything's possible. This world was pretty freaking far gone too, but we got this place going. All we have to do is bring light to it. I mean, if the World of Darkness is really so shrouded in darkness, then there's probably creatures containing that darkness, the way there were Lightbringers here in this world. It's gotta be Shadow Keepers or other Shadow Keepers or Shadow Bringers or things like that in the World of Darkness somewhere. Or something similar, probably. Who knows? If we can kill them and somehow absorb the darkness, though that's probably going to be even harder than it was for me to absorb light. It doesn't sound like an empty platitude coming from you. It was the same with Ardbert. Pardon the interruption. Might I suggest a closer examination of conditions of the 13th before we form any conclusions? Could use the Crystal Tower to open a void gate, couldn't we? Please? No. According to the records, there was a group who worked out how to open small void gates, through which to summon minor fell beasts and the like. Magics of that nature should work, though I'm unsure if any with knowledge of the original technique yet live. That sounds familiar. There's one right over there, Tainer. Tainer knows how to do that. I mean, he may not be looking forward to doing it right this moment, considering it got him locked in the void for a century. How fortunate. Let us inquire with this Tainer immediately. Yes, you do that. In the meantime, I already have means for peering into the depths of the void without endangering ourselves. Use these to contact me when you prepare to open the gate. So Tainer may not be looking forward to opening more void gates anytime soon. We shall. Very first opportunity, I promise. Now that he's taken off the hood and the mask, Unukalhai is a lot more animated as a character. Like, he's acting more like a kid, like flailing his arms around and all energetic and stuff. He was real, like, cold and stoic during the Warring Triad stuff, for the most part. It's always a pleasure, Ash. Hey, there's your friend. I don't believe we've met. We've not, as I'm not from this world. The situation is rather complicated, but I hope that you might be willing to assist me. It's true that we had the means to open such portals. We call them hollows. It was through one of these that I was drawn into the rift. So it is possible. Not with my power alone. I understand the greatness of your need, and were Albert at my side, I should be glad to make the attempt. But the technique required the combined force of our energies in resonance. Why not teach Unukalhai how to do this? He's a strong caster, I think. I mean, strong enough. If one person's magics are insufficient, perhaps I could assist. From what I can sense, our ethereal reserves are roughly equivalent. And our physical similarities suggest that our energies are not incompatible. Oh, Unukalhai's making a new friend. After a century. No, not really a century. It would have been a century for Silva. First she traveled with the warriors, then the flood, then another century. But Unukalhai, the source and the first were off balance before I arrived here. So Unukalhai would have come with a Litibis. Actually, Unukalhai might have shown up right around the time we first met him, frankly. Elidibus might have brought him here, like, right around that point. We underestimate the difficulty of the task. Albert and I were born for this. And even so, it took us years before our efforts were perfectly in step. I realize it's a lot to ask, considering we've just met. We're not at least attempted. Yours is the only such magic I've ever heard of, and if we might actually be able to save my home. May I interject? You recall that the crystals in my possession preserve the memories of the former warriors of light, including Albert's in ethereal form? And Unukalhai here has a particular talent for interpreting the minds and motives of ethereal beings, the primals. If I could apply the same principle to interpret Albert's crystal. An experiment worth trying, at the very least. I'll fetch it. Speak to me now, but do his memories of training with Tano remain? They do, and such strong sentiment with them. Rainer, you should know that Albert desired nothing so much as to rescue you, his dearest friend. Held so fiercely to his memories of the technique you mastered together, because he hoped they might be your salvation. Albert, I won't let them go to waste. I'll do what I can to help see the 13th restored. Thank you. Don't pretend I understand the half of what's going on here. Just keep them from running headlong into anything too dangerous, will ya? Tanner's new adopted dad is kind of a flake. Oh well. He's like, go ahead, take the kid to go journey off into the void. Why not? Nothing to worry about as long as you're around, I'm sure. Wicked White. I nearly forgot. I've half a dozen orders to fill. You know where to find me when you've made progress with the gate? Great, I'm running around with a bunch of kids. Wonderful. Oh, man. One step closer. If you have no objection, Tainer, I'd like to practice creating hollows as soon as possible. Of course, but not within the Crystarium. If we succeed in opening even the smallest window into that realm, it's likely that fell creatures will emerge. Follow me. Bye, Sarah. We're just gonna go summon Void Scent. Pay no mind to us. Actually, just heading out would be faster, I think. Or at least about the same. Tessellation. Alright, kids. Let's open void portals. Because, you know, we're stupid like that. Assuming no adventure is near, this location should be suitable. Nunakai, when I give the word, begin channeling your ether. Albert's memories will have told you as much, but it's imperative that you maintain focus on our ethereal resonance throughout this process. With that in mind, I ask that you take care of any creatures that emerge from the hollow. They shouldn't be of any strength to challenge you, and allow us to adjust our attunement without risk. Sure, I can kill Void Scent. I do that all the time. And let us begin. Lower, I tell you to. Let me attempt to match your focus. It opened. It's small, but enough to let something through. Be ready, Ash. A little shadow sprite. That was easy enough. Like they said, it was small. And it almost blew through all of Nukalhai's ether, it looks like. Was too much effort for such a small gate. On the contrary, given this is your first attempt, it's incredible that we succeeded at all. Now try synchronizing your breath with mine. Focus on the rhythm of the ethereal current. Alright, I'm ready. Alright, I'm back. A larger hollow. Of course, the void scent may be proportionally stronger. Undoubtedly. Something a little bigger. Oh! Okay then. Can we, like, not do this all day, please? Still easy enough. Though I will say these are not level syncing me, and I'm about 7 levels higher than I need to be here, so I don't think anything's really going to threaten me. Where your breath ends, mine begins. Where your ether flows, mine follows. Together. There you go. Now the question is, what do I have to face next? Unbelievable. Full attunement so soon. You ready, Ash? You summon this time. Oh. Okay, then. It just gets worse and worse. Oh yeah, I still have the damage book though. I've grasped the principle now. I only need to remember the feeling for next time. I almost feel as if I do remember it. Your ether is familiar somehow. But that's impossible, of course. Or not. Huh. I wonder. Were Unu Kalhai and Nilebert fragments of the same source? That would be interesting. Because this seems like they're pushing it more than... It seems very familiar because he's attuned to Nilebert's crystal, blah blah blah, and like read his memories. Like, this seems like it's pushing it more than that. I wonder if they're fragments of the same being. Kala's success with Tanner has only made him more eager to proceed. A bounty of hunters. That would be a very weird feeling. Like, your fragment on another one of the worlds already dead and you're like attuning to his memories. Now that Tanner and I are capable of performing the necessary magics, I should like to make an attempt at investigating conditions on the 13th. Might I trouble you to contact Beklug? Ezran? Are you there? I hope you've not lost focus on the void problem. I have an exciting breakthrough to share. A work of Porksy-related genius, if I do say so myself. Beklug, excellent timing. We've made considerable progress as well, and are ready to open a portal when you are. Well then, what say you meet me at Laxton Loft, forthwith? It's far enough from any major etherites to avoid the sort of ethereal interference that would be a hindrance to our observation of the void. Also, it's the Shadow Keeper's keep, so kind of fitting that we're opening the portal to the void there. Very well. We'll see you at this Laxton Loft anon, or as soon as I can locate it. Relax, bro. It's like 5 feet that direction and up a cliff. I'll lead the way. I too am eager to be one step nearer to our goal. You don't mind if I think of it as our goal, do you? I'll be honored. Thank you, Tanner. So yeah, I guess it is possible that Unu Kalhai still has a bit of, like, childish energy about him. Because you could think of him as being whatever age, since he's now technically immortal. And then I think of, like, Silva was here for 100 years, but since the speed of, like, time in the two worlds was different, odds are Unu Kalhai was a kid, obviously, when their world fell to darkness, and then him and Silva became immortal. And then there's a chance that he just, like, was sent right to the source, like, right after that, and then we got involved in the Warring Triad stuff. So he may not have been, like, around working with the Ascians for very long. In fact, it didn't seem like he'd spent a bunch of time working with Elidibus by the time we started doing the Warring Triad stuff. Ooh, all the way up now. Wait, would this even be possible without flying unlocked? I don't think this would even be possible if you didn't unlock flying. Like, you could get up here without flying, but there's no door that leads up there. I think you have to unlock flying before you do this quest for some reason. It appears Beklug has yet to arrive. Patience, Unu Kalhai. hope you weren't waiting too long. What, you didn't think she was gonna miss out on this, did you? Yeah, see exactly what I said. What, you didn't think I'd want to see this for myself? The 13th was my home too, if you recall. Quite. But as I explained, we won't be the ones doing the seeing, strictly speaking. This familiar will gather all the information we need. Assuming you two can create a hollow for it to pass through. Oh. We've seen what the void does to Nixies. I wonder what's gonna happen to this Porksy. That will do nicely. Now fly, my Porksy. Fly! No, you're supposed to say water, water, froth and foam. It's the only way to do it. It's the best way. That Porksy is real screwed, I think. Unless it's real quick trip. I think she left the Nixies in there for at least a few minutes. Because there was a little time skip between when the Nixies went in and came out. Well, it's made it in. And something is coming out. Hello, hello. What have we here? Oh. That's not just some random void scent. That looks like it still has its wits about it. Although it's not like void scent go nuts and have no brains. I mean, Diablos and Skothic and all of them still had their wits about them, but they're powerful ones only. Basic ones never seem to be more than just monsters. Ah, that's an ugly one, isn't it? Don't worry, kids. Just back up. I got this. Who is that? Because I swear I've seen this thing before in, like, another Final Fantasy. I swear I've seen something that looks like this. Who is that? I can't think of where I've seen him before. But he looks so familiar. Not from 14, from a different one. But I don't know where. What do we have? Dvalin. The name sounds familiar as well, actually. Is he... I don't think he was a big boss or anything like that, like a major threat. I think he was like... No, actually, I think he was a boss, but not like a major story threat, just like a normal boss you encounter in the course of the game. Was it 4? No, was it 6? I can't remember where Dvalin comes from. And that's killing me. There's that inquisitive mind of mine going nuts. I need to look this up real quick, because I know he's from another game, and I think he was a boss, just like a normal boss you encountered. No, this is all Norse mythology stuff. Norse mythology stuff. The not gamers game. There's Tolkien stuff. Yeah, he would be there. Let's go ahead and look this up real quick. Fallen, Droid Scent, Burger. Yeah. Alright, tells Void Scent serves an artisan for its fiendish kin, blah blah blah. Yes, I know. All that. That's specifically 14. Let me put in Final Fantasy. So he's in 11, obviously. That's not a big surprise. Yeah, it keeps giving me Norse mythology. which makes sense, but I'm more interested in where he comes from in Final Fantasy. No. It's only given me as far back as 11, but I know he was in earlier ones. Let's look at the 11 Cyclopedia. It looks very different in 11, that's for sure. No. Don't care about any of that. Historical background, Norse mythology again. Maybe I'm picking up the name Dvalin from the Dwarves of Norse mythology. Maybe. But I could have swore I remembered him from an earlier Final Fantasy. Like, one of the pixel art-ish era Final Fantasies. Like 6, I want to say, but I'm not sure of that. 5, maybe? Although a lot of stuff dealing with the Void seems to deal with 4, but that's more specifically about, like, the post-Endwalker Void stuff, so who knows about that one. No, that's just, like, user profiles and crap. No. Nope. None of that. Oh, there's a Genshin Impact, too. Oh, yeah. Spelt a little differently, but yeah. Nah, can't find it. Oh well. I think he was in an earlier Final Fantasy before 11. Like 4, 5, or 6, probably. Thank you for clearing that up. Porksy ought to be back any moment now, though I can't sense it. Odd. Perhaps it's lost? If Ash created an etheric beacon, as he did for me, it might find its way back more easily. That may work. Give it a go. You want me to attune to the hollow? You love this one. Keep at it. A distinctly Porksy-like presence. I see the snout. I see the snout. How's the Porksy doing? There we are. Now close that hollow before anything follows. Yes, please. Before I have to fight another thing. Will it not? Okay. I was gonna say, is it not gonna close? Now that it's open? Sorry. I believe it has performed its task thoroughly, as instructed. Good, Porksy. With luck, its observations may indeed lead us to a means of driving the darkness from the 13th. However, I'll need to review its findings in detail before I can tell you more. It could take years to deduce a suitable solution. Is this it? Like, is this all there is to this whole Void restoration quest line thing? I thought there was more to it, because people were talking about it in reference to the fact that we're going to the Void in post-Endwalker. It's like, I don't feel like there will be a ton of stuff. It'll be like one sentence of dialogue referencing that we've already done stuff with the Void, probably, in the MSQ. Not that I'm impatient to find out a way forward, but I've endured millennia with half as much hope as I have now. Oh. Oh, okay. So he is very, very old. I must wait, then that's what I shall do. Like Ash and your warriors of light, I'll persevere until my world is safe once more. That's what a hero does. I think you'll make a good one. You as well. If that's the end of the excitement for the time being, we should head back to the Wandering Stairs. Clear out that pall of anxiety Sarag is spreading all over the place. Okay, so Sarag has been worrying about him. I wonder if that's really all there is to this questline. Somehow I imagined there was a little more to it. But it was good. Shorter than I expected, but good. Screw it. Let's teleport, even though it's like 10 feet away. I hate trying to make that run, because it's just barely not enough sprint to get back to the bar. And again, they still just won't give us a toggleable sprint. It's annoying. Yeah, you returned to Hall. Not that I had any doubt you would, of course. And how'd your search of the Hollow go? We may have the information we need to save the 13th. It may be some time, years maybe, until we can be certain. But I'll be here for as long as it takes. Or until your spirit starts to give out. On that subject, I've been thinking. Would you be interested in joining us? As a bounty hunter, I mean. Sarag and I hunt down sin eaters and other threats. Yep. Now he has a new Nilebert to travel around with, along with Sarag, to hunt down sin eaters. First was saved, but it remains far from safe. You could help us protect the people here. I think I would quite like that. Protecting people. If I can do that, then perhaps I'll find the strength I need when the time comes. It's still an all DPS party. Like, he gained a new party member, and it's another black mage. Strength, you say? Sounds like you could use a dwarf with a massive hammer. But now it's not an all DPS party. Now they're getting a tank, 2 tanks, and another DPS. They still don't have a damn healer. Like, this entire group, it's big enough that it probably could do fine even without a healer, but they don't have a healer. You may have shared the tale of the 13th with a few other noted hunters. I know what it feels like to fight for something you've already lost. To need to find a way to make it right. And I know it's not easy to fight on your own. Inconvenient as that little truth may be. Thus a new team is born! This calls for a toast! Where were you hiding that mug? Probably don't want to know. I don't object, so long as this lot carries their weight. I'm a bounty hunter, not a fuka herder. Yeah, just have him go out and start fighting with level 71 enemies. He'll get there soon enough. Thank you so much, all of you. I'd be honored to fight at your side. I'll do my best to justify the faith you've shown in me, and to save my home. Someday I hope we can visit it together. First I need to go there with Y'shtola. Deal with the big threat there. It's probably for the best that this was a somewhat shorter quest line. Well, 2 quest lines, sort of. Because, like I said, I was asleep until about 10 minutes before the stream, and I haven't had anything to eat, like, all day. I think I did eat something this morning before going to bed, but nothing really all that great. So, I'm definitely looking forward to finding myself some dinner. Friends indeed. I completely missed that these quest lines, like, even existed. Oops. Okay, Ciella's got nothing. Unukalhai's got nothing. Lurik, Serig, Tainer, nothing. Giat, nothing. Is Branson even here? Where the hell is he? Oh, there he is. Rooting against the wall. Okay, he's got nothing for me. Alright, let me check this quest line real quick. Let's start with Shadow Walk with me. Yeah, or is he a database? That'll work. Maybe. Main scenario, Shadowbringers. Prerequisite quests. Love and Loss, Soul of Temperance, Courage Born of Fear, Tearful Reunion. Those are the role quests. Follow-up quest, Safekeeping. Follow-up quest. Okay, so Safekeeping needed Reflections in Crystal and Shadow Walk with me. Yeah, it would have. No, wait. Yes, it would have, because she mentioned me leaving Ardberg's Crystal with Seto. So yeah, it would have needed Reflections in Crystal to be done. Hero's Journey. Requisites. Oh, you need to finish a lot of the Warring Triad stuff before you can get into this. Yeah, you need to finish like all of Unukalhai's stuff before you can get in there. That makes sense. Finish up his storyline on the source first. And then one step closer. And then Bounty of Hunters. And no follow-up quest. This one only has prerequisites. Achievement, Friends Indeed. No follow-up quest. Yep, that's it. That is the entirety of the Shadowkeeper and the Void Restoration line of quests. I really kind of expected it to go a little further with the Void Restoration thing, but I guess it's not like we could really start that process. Void Restoration is going to be something that's going to have to happen like off-screen over the course of years, if at all, in the course of this game. So we're not getting there right away, that's for damn sure. Alright, that's it then. That covers... Just a sec. I can delete this from my notes then, because I've finished that now. Which means that if there's any little references in the MSQ with the Void to deal with like prerequisite, have you done this quest line yet or not, then I'll be able to get those. Again, it doesn't seem like there will be some real deep, long connection between these two quest lines. It'll probably be like one sentence of dialogue mentioning that, yeah, we've already started this. Or something like that. Alright, do I want to keep going? No. No, I am actually getting pretty hungry. I could take a break and keep going and then do some side stuff, but I think I'm good for today. With not having gotten a ton of sleep last night and being ready to get some food and all, I think I'll stop for today. Alright, that's where we'll go ahead and end it for today then. Do I have any, Nah, not really. I might want to watch through those videos eventually. I don't know. Not the hugest fan of the whole, like, React thing anyway. Alright, we'll go ahead and just finish it here for the night. Last stream of the week. Saturday. This Saturday. Hopefully 3 p.m. Pacific time, assuming I bother to actually go to bed and get some sleep the night before and all that stuff. But presumably 3 p.m. Pacific time this Saturday, I am starting Aglaya. I'm going to be doing the first stage of Myths of the Realm storyline and getting into the Aglaya raid. At which point I probably will just need to like run Aglaya over and over and over and over again. Because Euphrosyne has a much higher eye level, if I remember correctly, so I don't think I can just do all of Myths of the Realm. I've barely got enough eye level to get into Aglaya. Like, he doesn't, obviously, but that's because he's not 90 yet. My tank stuff and my ranged DPS stuff is, like, just over 565. So I have just enough to get into the first stage of Aglaya and Pandemonium. Or the first stage of Myths of the Realm and Pandemonium. I don't know if the later stages of Pandemonium need a higher eye level than 565, or if it's all just 565, so I may be able to do some more of that. Anyway, that'll be my last stream for this week. And then I'll probably do a little bit more No Man's Sky. Maybe try a more legit, like, speed run of the hardcore permadeath thing. Like, not trying to go all the way to the Galactic Core on my own, but, like, getting to a portal and teleporting there and then just jumping into the core. That sort of thing you can do in a single day. And then next week will be more... I'll probably start Panda pretty early next week, I feel like. Because I really want to get into both of these things, right? Like, getting into Aglaya is interesting because I can start running it with my friends, but most of them are up to Euphrosyne, so I need to get my eye level up. But with Pandemonium, everyone's running Savage, so I need to get into the story of Pandemonium and get it, like, up to as far as I can so I can unlock the Savages. And then I'll probably need to get much higher eye level gear for that as well. Because I seriously doubt the Savage Pandemonium lets you jump in with 565. That would be, like, stupid. My guess is it's like 590 or 600 something probably to get into the higher level, the Savage Pandemonium stuff. And Euphrosyne, I actually have no idea what Euphrosyne's high level is. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Saturday. Oh wait, over to Twitch, please. I should probably find someone to raid. Oh, we're doing MSQ speedrun? That's interesting. Let's see what we got. Who is live? What are they up to? Ooh, Crisis Core. PvP with Sprinkleberg. That might be interesting. Chin is EX5. Yeah, I don't want to jump into someone who's doing EX5. That'll be a spoiler for me. Tatara quest and the Alpha and Omega quests. Another day in the world of fans. Dailies and PvP. Can't stop. Maybe I will jump into Sprinkles. I haven't raided Sprinkleberg at all? No, I have raided Sprinkleberg, but I don't think I've raided Sprinkleberg in a long time. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that for today. We'll go ahead and hop over to Sprinkleberg, who's doing some PvP stuff today. Presumably for the new season and all the new awards for the new milestones and all that stuff. Alright. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, to get, like, the post-roll quest stuff and the Void Restoration stuff out of the way. So I'm ready for further MSQ, I feel like, if I decide to do it. But I'm not sure I'm going to jump back into the MSQ right away. I really want to focus on getting into the end game, like, raiding stuff now, so I can go do these things with my friends. So I may be doing a bit of that over the next week or two. And then I'll probably need a gap in that, so I can just go and run it 1,000 times and get higher eye-level gear. Anyway, I will see you guys Saturday, so that we can get started with Aglaya and all that. And, hell, if anyone wants to run the first bits of the raid with me, you're more than welcome to. Alright, later guys.